Hi, it's Khandie. I just want to say my friend's come back.
I'm back.
She left me to go to Vienna, to be well, a creative person. She went, go and tell me what you did.
I did a wet plate photography course with a lovely guy called Marcus in Vienna.
I'll be honest, as much as I'm proud of my friend, I'm fucking jealous. Professionally and personally and lively. So on my Instagram I talk really often, that's just generally, I talk often about shooting big in a small town, and someone did point out nicely to me that Northampton's one of the largest towns in the UK, but I'm going to find the things that you can do to perhaps photograph where you are. I'm just going to use Corinne because she's literally straight from hanging out with me, and so we're not going to do any styling, we're just going to show you what you can do with your kit.
Don't shoot upwards, remember, because those nostrils.
I know, Corinne did a video on her TikTok about telling people how you can shoot up and use perspective, and this guy decided to tell her it was all wrong. So one of the easiest ways to make somewhere look good is obviously use wide open aperture, because then it blurs out the background, but we are going to do that for one shot, and then we're actually going to work on seeing better. Is that right? Seeing better? Visualizing better?
Yeah.
Enjoying the environment better? Rather than fighting the environment, use it to its ability.
Use it to your advantage.
Yeah, let's try. I mean, let me just show you this in a minute first. We're sat on some steps, that's Corinne and I. This is at the back of the shopping centre. We've got a blinking light. We have, this is not a very nice place to stand. There's a lot of human urine smells here, because, you know, classy. And this alleyway just here that you can see, that's a similar problem. But, you know, if you've got a model that can, well, thankfully Corinne can't smell anything, so we can go here. Also got this really tall building that works a great perspective, and we've got the range. You can't get behind there, but, you know, it's sheltered, it's open shade. You can stand there and get some good light. So this is where we're going to shoot, and obviously we've got loads of leading lines to use. We can do frame within a frame. Corinne actually shot me here actually, so there's some things to do here we can find. And
the corner's even labelled.
they are perfectly labelled corner. It probably is. I'm going to shoot on the 50mm because loads of people are like, oh, but you've got all the nice lenses. We're going to shoot on a 50mm 1.8, which is essentially one of my first prime lenses I ever got. You can grab one super cheap. Anyway, I'll put all links to any equipment I'm using in the comments below. No, description below. So this is Corinne. I'm going to show you just against a wall. Any wall will do, any location you're at, and it's all about finding what looks good, changing your angle, changing your perspective to get 3 different looks at the same wall with the same lighting conditions. So we're going to use the stairs now. Obviously I did state that these are really smelly, although they look like they've been steam washed, but I'll tell you now, Corinne, you can't smell them. They are stinky. God, coat hanger on the bottom of the stairs gives me warning signs. So we're going to have it, oh, you can see the wet stains, that's brilliant. So I think everywhere has these can be at parking garages, parking lots or anything like that. Although we're taking the mickey here, really think about your posing to get some good angles on your model. Obviously only have your model pose on dirty steps if they're comfortable, and also don't offer it so much. I think they're going to think you're bad, but Corinne's pose here, so all this yellowness contradicts her outfit. If she looks up where she just looked just now, you get, yeah, that's it, you get the lovely light on her face, you get some angles. You can shoot from here, you can shoot like this. Obviously the coat hanger is optional if you really want to have it. Just make sure that you're getting the most out of a location. Don't just do one pose. Make sure the model turns her head. Even those micro movements can really change up a scene and make it more interesting for you. Obviously here the choice of lens contact. Using the 50mm allows me to put quite a lot of out of focus, and it's quite cropped in. However, if I use a wider angle, I can still use this as storytelling. I can shoot low down and get this of Corinne. Notice how the blue line leads through, followed by the blue pylons that appear on the sides, and it's a nice story. Obviously I haven't pulled out as wide on the video, but you get the idea. This blue and yellow is a nice composition. Also Corinne is actually wearing blue, so it's got some harmony to it. Right, okay, so we might not have some stairs, but I bet you've got a building or something. Now this is obviously, we're working on focus, it's white, but it is, you know, it's just a building, okay? So if we get Corinne, let's try something. Go on, hello, that's me, that bright yellowy orange thing. We have Corinne there. And we'll have her leaning up against the wall, so facing it almost, yeah, looking into it. Right, we're going to shoot like this, okay? We're going to use the 50mm. I will say, work with the wind. It can make for really cool effects in your images. So I've actually shot here before, but new graffiti, and Corinne is actually going to be in this space here between the graffiti, but the choice is actually open shade. So just to go through it, we've got a camera there, watch it get stolen. Pray. Right, first of all, we're in open shade. You see here, look how pale I'm and bouncing. You see that bit of light on Corinne's head? That's coming from above, so it kind of gives me some sort of hair light and separation light. We've also, if she turns her head towards me, we're going to get a bit of light from the ground here bouncing off. If she comes forward, she gets even more light on her face, and we suddenly get some nice separation, and we're using what's around us. It doesn't have to be a beautiful background, but we can make it good with our choice of how we do it. Obviously, poor Corinne didn't get a chance to start off, but she looks great regardless, and she is just suffering from mild hay fever. These are just a series of portraits using that background, putting her slightly in the negative space, putting a hand inside the box that's spray painted behind, and watching that light and that wind work. Here I am just slightly moving around her and getting her to change her position so we get good portraits in what is essentially a grotty alleyway. And I love these pictures because she's just great. I think it would be obvious to shoot outside in the grassy area. Like, I think everybody has tried this at least once, haven't they? Like, so this isn't like too hard. But you see these structures like this, if you've got an ugly ass tower block, there are things you can do with this. See how the light is kicking around the side of this building? There is stuff you can do. Corinne, if she hops up on this wall, will help me. You need to start going around your hometown at different times of day, obviously safely, and with maybe with somebody, to try and find out when it's good. We're shooting in the middle of the day, so this is harsh light. This is a backlit image. Corinne looks statuesque, and I love the structures mirroring her. Bit of backlight, and just you can do some classic headshots here. You know, it's all about control of your aperture and understanding what your backgrounds are doing. The background was technically boring, but because you're able to control how much is in focus with your aperture, you can really give some separation and some interest to your images. Now, in Northampton, we're quite lucky that the council don't mind that people do this type of graffiti art on these walls. It's part of their thing. But this alleyway is less than beautiful. But I'm not going to shoot this based on the graffiti. I'm going to just show you. Why not? Because we've done it so many times. Oh, the beautiful graffiti. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So we're now going to use the light for it. So Corinne is obviously framed within this, and then we've got all the light coming up. So we're going to try some stuff with some direct light. You see the shadow here? Obviously shooting in direct sun is less than ideal, but I really like that we can use our hand to create patterns on the face. And I kind of like this. They have a sort of Instagram vibe, if you get what I mean. Okay, so admittedly, this graffiti does help, but this is just a pathway with light coming in directly above Corinne, pretty much. You can see from the harsh shadows. And we're going to use the leading lines of the alleyway to create a nice portrait. And this bit here is just going to add a frame. So you've got to look for frames within a frame. Obviously, the rubbish is the central character here in this picture. Compositionally, frames within frames and leading lines all draw the eye of the viewer. So these are great ways. Doesn't matter if you haven't got graffiti like we have here. It could just be a wall or an overpass or a doorway, but something that leads the eye. Full disclosure, this was Corinne's decision and idea, and it works. This is just a fence panel. As before, this is leading lines and frames within frames. With a panel, but also notice that Corinne's black jacket matches parts of the fencing, and she's also bringing interest by putting herself centrally in the frame, or shall I say, I've chosen to put her centrally in the frame. So the wind's picked up. Corinne has now changed to my outfit, making it look better, obviously. Look at her, queen. So we're going to do some shots here. But this is literally, oh God, that wind. It's just a alleyway. Yes, it's graffitied. Yes, it's a nice area, but alleyways and doorways, they come aplenty. So stop thinking of it as, I don't have graffiti. Just find a doorway. The interest is your model. And if you're in doubt what to do what we do. Go to the charity shops, buy obnoxious clothes, and then see if you can make it work fashion-wise. Or just borrow from your mate who's got no fashion sense. Me. So this looks like a nice place, except when you pull out, keep going. Yeah, choice of lens and how you position your model, and just seeing beauty in the less than beautiful.
I'm making friends with the flies.
Let's get out of here. If you were just seeing this shot, you probably wouldn't have known that the environment that actually Corinne was stood in, and this is not a nice place. It was smelly, there's dirt, graffiti, everything. But it just proves ugly can be good.
Cheers.
Here's Corinne at a coffee shop. We're going to do a shot here. There are some lovely ladies here that I'm going to avoid because I think that's unfair to have them in the shot. But we're going to do a shoot here because everyone has shot at a coffee shop. If you're going to shoot outside somewhere, be mindful of who's around you. Try not to take up too much time and try and support the business that you're doing. Here we are buying coffees, Corinne's Laughing Joke. These are great for branding shoots. I think every town, village has something of this description at least. So many people get stuck in the idea that a small town limits their ability as a photographer. It really doesn't. What it actually limits you is maybe connections, but thanks to the internet, that is definitely opening up. What you should be doing though is challenge yourself to photograph all these ideas in a small town. So maybe you want to do high-end fashion in your town. Go shoot it. What's stopping you? Find the backgrounds, be it low angle, whatever it is, there is always going to be something that you can photograph. What's stopping you is that you have refused to see it, or you've trained yourself to not see it. You just think, oh, this town's a dump, blah, blah, blah. Go for a walk around all hours of the day and look as a photographer. Put your camera up to your face and look through the viewfinder. See what your camera's seeing, because it might be your eyes are overlooking it. And so often, I think that just with some clever positioning of you or posing or styling the model, you can make a very drab location really pop out. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below any tips you've got for shooting in your local town, and I'll catch you on in the next one.